everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are deep diving into Annexure Control 5.4, which is Management Responsibility. We'll try to understand why this control is important, how can you implement it, and what are the auditor's expectations to fulfill this control. So let's get started. This control emphasizes on the management responsibility to implement ISMS successfully in their organization. The control says management should require all personnel to apply information security in accordance with the established information security policy, topic specific policies, and procedures of the organization. ISO 27000 talks about creating a policy, and then it talks about creating topic specific policy as well as the procedures. And I've been telling this many times that ISO 27000 primarily focuses on having good documentation. It is heavy on documentation. And once you have documented, when you have your policy document, your topic specific documents, and your procedure documents in place, it says that it is the role of management that they have to ensure that all these policies are successfully implemented in the organization. Why does ISO standard wants the involvement of management? To ensure management understand their role in information security and undertake actions aiming to ensure all personnel are aware of and fulfill their information security responsibility. See, there is a saying that cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Not that it is only the security team's responsibility, or it is only the manager responsibility, or it is only the cybersecurity engineer's responsibility. No, whoever is working in the organization, everyone should ensure that they follow proper security controls. Everyone in the organization should fulfill the information security responsibilities, whatever is being defined to them. The purpose of this control is for the management to understand that even they play a very important role in information security and they should take correct actions so that everyone in the organization can fulfill the information security responsibility. They cannot say, okay, we have defined the policy, now my job is done. They have to get involved. Now, how do they do that? ISO Control 5.4 gives you some detailed steps of how management can get involved in information security management system. Management should demonstrate support of information security policy, topic specific policy, procedures, and information security controls. So, see, if you are, say, a network team, there is another team who software security or application security team. Now, they have to implement certain cybersecurity controls. To implement this control, they need some funding, they need some human resource, some manpower they need, right? So these things should be provided by the management to purchase some tools. Then they need the funding for it. They need people to work. So in that case, the management should support. They have to demonstrate support to see these team need funding and human resource so that they can implement the policy. Say if the policy says that we have to regularly scan our software, so the application security team needs some tool, right, to scan the software. They have to provide the funding and a human resource. That's what it says. The management should demonstrate support. It could be by providing human resource, by funding, or in any other ways. Management responsibilities should include ensuring that. Now, what are the management responsibility? They have to ensure that all people are properly briefed on their information security roles and responsibilities prior to being granted access to the organization information and other associated assets. Whoever is there in the organization, they should properly educate them whatever roles they play. I'll explain this with an example. When you join an organization, they will give you a laptop, and during the induction program, they will tell you, okay, don't install any unnecessary software, or they will have certain controls on your laptop that you cannot install any unnecessary software. You have to use this for your office purpose only. Then they will say, okay, this is your office premises and you have access to only this particular area. You'll not have access to all other areas. You to sign certain documents, right? The NDAs and the acceptable use policies, saying, okay, I know that this is the organization policy and I'll abide by it. Okay, this is the company laptop and I'll not use it for any other purpose. So these kind of briefing is being done to every employee. Those are all management responsibilities. Also tell you, okay, if you get any phishing mail, please don't click on it. That is also a kind of briefing on your information security roles. Don't tailgate, carry your ID card every day. People are provided with guidelines which state that information security expectations of their role within the organization. Within the organization, what is their expectations? Say, for example, they have to carry their ID card every day. They have to use their laptop for the office purpose only. They have to not click on any malicious websites or any phishing sites. They have to not disclose any internal information. All those guidelines should be communicated to the employees. The people are mandated to fulfill the information security policy and topic specific policies of the organization. So when you join, they will educate you on the policy, saying, okay, this is the policy and you have to abide by the policy. And they'll ask you to sign right at the end of the page. They'll give you so many pages and they'll say, okay, sign on every page. What is that? That if you have read it, it also talks about your information security policies and also topic specific policies. They'll say, okay, this is your network policy, this is our network policy, this is our office policies, this is our HR policy. All those policy documents they will give you to sign so that you acknowledge, saying, okay, I have read it and I know that this is existing. So these are the responsibilities of the management. They have to ensure that they demonstrate support by providing all the um, all that is required to implement information security management system in the company. Next, to achieve a level of awareness of information security relevant to their roles and responsibility within their organization, they have to be aware. Not only they just sign the document, but they have to be aware of what are the information security roles and responsibilities. So if I'm a security guard, what are my roles and responsibilities when it come to information security? I should not let any unknown stranger enter the office premises. I have to ensure that everyone is wearing displaying their badges. No tailgating is happening. Anyone has not bought their ID card, I have a proper procedure to be followed. So they have to make sure that every person is aware of their roles and responsibilities within the organization. Compliance with the terms and conditions of employment, contract, or agreement, including the organization security policy and appropriate methods of working. So, all the terms and conditions of employment they have to be aware of, the contract, any agreement that they have. Remember, I told you, like, if you are in a very high position, they will, if you're dealing with all confidential information, then they will ask you to sign an NDA, and then there will be some certain contract and agreement saying, okay, I will not disclose this information until I'm working in this organization. And even after I leave the organization, I will not disclose the private information. So, like these contracts will be signed. So, probably the compliance of the organization has to be maintained, including not only this, but also the information security policy and the best appropriate method of working. All these things should be communicated to the person. The management should continue to have appropriate information security skills and qualifications through ongoing professional education. The management should make sure that every person is having appropriate information security skills. Remember, even if you're not from information security, on an annual basis or on a maybe twice a year, yeah, they will send you this information security training program. So that is happening because they want to ensure that you have the appropriate information security skills and the qualifications through ongoing professional education. And if you are part of cybersecurity, then they want you to do certain certifications and certain qualifications to upgrade your skills so that you can be in par with the latest updates. Where practicable, are provided with confidential channel for reporting violation of information security policy, topic specific policy or procedures for information security. So what it's out that is called as whistleblowing. You know what is whistleblowing? Whistleblowing is whenever you come to know that something wrong is happening in your organization. It could be information security related, or it could not be information security related as well. Okay, what is whistleblowing? I'm just explaining what is whistleblowing. If there is anything wrong that is happening in the organization which you think is not right, is illegal, or it is something which is not correct, that case you can directly reach even to the CEO or the highest authority and complain it, or even to your manager, or even to your CEO or a highest authority and complain. You can blow the whistle saying, yes boss, I see something malicious here, I see something suspicious here, or I see something concerning here. That is whistleblowing. In accordance to that, it says that where practical, wherever possible, make sure that all the personals are provided with confidential channel for reporting violation. If there's any violation of information security policy, they should be directly be able to go and report and do a whistleblowing saying that the something has been violated and it needs immediate attention. Okay, that contacts the confidential channel contacts or the reporting mechanism should also be given to every person. This can allow for anonymous reporting or have provisions to ensure that knowledge. This can allow for anonymous reporting. Means what? Anonymous reporting means what? See, you know something, someone is violating some policy, and if you say his name, he can cause danger to you. In that case, what you have to do, your name will not be disclosed. Anonymously, you can go and report. Okay, that is called anonymous. This can allow for anonymous reporting. So your management should allow you for anonymous reporting as well, or have provision to ensure that knowledge of the identity of the reporter is known only to those who need to deal with such reports. Or they can say that, okay, the details of the person who's complaining should be known only to the people who are actually dealing with the problem, not anyone else. First, keep his name anonymous, whoever is doing a whistleblowing. Or even if you want to disclose his name, but it should be only to those people who are dealing with that report, or else don't have to disclose it. So the management should make such kind of provision for the people so that they are comfortable reporting any kind of violation as well. That is a responsibility of the management. The personnel are provided with adequate resources. So every person is provided with adequate resources and projects planning time for implementing the information security releases related process for. Plus, the management should also make sure that the people are provided with adequate resources, and the management should also make sure that people are provided with adequate resources and project planning time for implementing information security related processes and control. See, the management should give you proper time to implement the information security control, right? Because implementing security controls takes time. It takes nearly 6 to 1 year. If your organization is big, it takes 2 to 3 years as well. I have seen those happening in the organization. But the management can't say, okay, this is the information security policy, implement within 1 day or implement within 30 days. That is not possible. Depending on the size of the organization, if your organization is like 5 to 50 people or 100 people, okay, 30 days you're saying, that is still tough. So depending on the size of the organization, they should give ample time to implement the information security control. That is what it says. And then not only time, they should also give you adequate resources. Because if they don't provide you resources, do you think you can implement information security management system? To implement security management system, you need different resources, you need tools, you need proper people who are aware of how to implement, you need people to educate others on how what needs to be done, how it can be done. All this consumes resources, time, effort, knowledge, skills. So all these should be provided by the management. So this is the responsibility of management. ISO control clearly says you what are the responsibility of a management to implement ISMS. I hope that is clear. Now let us understand some common non-conformatives. When can you get a non-conformative for this particular control? If you don't know what is non-conformative, just go back to my previous video. You will understand. There I have clearly explained what is non-conformative. Auditors frequently raise findings when lack of leadership commitments like, so if policy was not signed by top management, see you have a policy, then that policy should be signed by the top management saying that okay, I acknowledge this policy, I it is good to go. If your policy is not signed by the management, that becomes a non-conformative. No management review involvement. So whenever an ISMS is implemented in the organization, every quarterly or monthly, the management which should sit and review, okay, what is the status of the ISMS, where how far have we reached. Maybe you can provide an artifact saying this is the minutes of meeting, this was discussed, these are the people who joined the meeting. These kind of artifacts you should have. Then the management should send a review saying, okay, yes, we have reviewed the information security management. So if you don't know management review involvement is there, security delegated entirely to IT without leadership oversight. Security has been delegated entirely to IT. So the management is saying to IT team, okay, you guys only take care of the implementation of information security, and he's not even reviewing it. He's not even sitting and seeing, okay, how we are progressing, what is the resources we need, do we need any additional timing? Nothing. If they are not seeing any such things, then even that can be a finding. Management is clearly not enforcing information security management. If they see that they're not enforcing information security management, how can the auditors come to know that okay, they are enforcing security management system, right? The proper review has to be done, policy has to be signed, it has to be, then all these things, the control is completely missing. Like, I talked about statement of applicability, in which I talked about what are the controls that you will be implementing and what are the controls that you will not be implementing, right? You have to provide a reason. If you have not seen my videos of SOA, which is statement of applicability, I would suggest you just pause and go back and see that video. It will give you more information of what is statement of applicability. But for now, you understand that if this control is completely missing, then also it will be a finding, because this is one of the mandatory controls. Management involvement is a must. Without management involvement, how can you how can your organization implement ISMS? So this is something that you cannot say that you're not going to implement. It has to be implemented. So if this is missing, even that becomes a non-conformative. No evidence of communication. See, you're saying, okay, we have information security policy in place. What if that is just there in the documentation? You have not communicated to the people. No one is aware of it. How do you communicate that to the people? Either you have email circulated to people saying, okay, this is our information security policy, and then you get an acknowledgement form signed from people saying, yes, we have read the information security policy. When you join the organization, your information security team will come and give you a little brief about the information security policy in your organization, right? So basically, all these becomes a proof as evidence for your audit during your audit. And some of the other things should be no evidence of management enforcement, like policies are approved, but monitoring of compliance is missing. but no monitoring of compliance. So you have the policies, but you're not monitoring. How do you monitor? Say for supposing, you say, okay, this is our policy, but how do you monitor that people are following this policy? Yeah, phishing emails is one of the best examples I can give. See, every now and then you will be getting phishing emails, right? And then you have to report it to your company. This becomes as a compliance. Okay, this is monitoring of the compliance. They will, after that, this security team will take a report and see, okay, how many people have clicked on this phishing link, how many people have not clicked on the phishing link, and they'll say what is, then they will see the percentage. Okay, 98% of our employees have clicked. That means what? They are not following the compliance. Even after we giving them the training that don't click on the phishing link, they are still clicking on it. So this way they are monitoring your compliance. If you don't have any monitoring of compliance in place, that becomes a non-conformative. Repeated violation with no action. So if someone has clicked on the phishing link, then what they do, so that person is picked out separately and he's given a training, and maybe his manager also will come and give him more training and say, okay, see, this is what you have done. You have to be careful from the educate him on the phishing links, right? Person has installed a malicious software in his computer, in his Citrix. Then you have to take certain actions, any violation action, so that he doesn't repeat it. You have to show that, okay, these are the actions that you're taking if someone is violating our security policy. No disciplinary process documented. You have to have a document saying, okay, if someone is violating any of our information security policy, then this is the strict disciplinary action that we will be taking. You have to show them. It must be clearly documented. No awareness training records. If you don't, why do you think everything is done in the tool? So that they can take a report and show them, okay, from this date to this date, we have sent out compulsory training for our employees and all have done the compulsory training. So that becomes as an artifact. Employees fail basic security questions during interview. So during audit, what happens? The auditor will randomly pick a person and ask them, okay, can you tell me what is your information security when it comes to phishing? Or can you tell me what is your information policy when it comes to uh, your laptop? What if you lose a laptop? What is the steps that you will be taking? So these kind of interview questions will be asked randomly. They will pick, not everyone, but randomly handful of people they can pick and they can ask questions. So when these random questions are asked, you have to answer properly. You just can't say no. If you say no, that also becomes a finding. So yeah, now what are the evidences? The evidences are very simple. Information security policy approved and signed by top management. It should also have version control and communicated to employees. How can you show that? Acknowledgement from employees saying, yes, we have read the information security policy, or maybe in some companies, they'll just print out the policy and ask you to physically sign on it. Signed approval page, yes. Document control details. Okay, the document, whenever there is a document, right, it'll have version control. Okay, this is the first version, this is version 1.1, this is version 1.2. So those details also should be there. Whenever there's an update in the policy, the management should sign it again. And after signing it again, it should again be shared with all the employees saying, okay, this is our updated policy. If you don't share it with your employees, the updated policy, that also will become a finding. Consequences for violating security policy. So if someone has violated security policy, what have you done? What disciplinary process you have and what have you done? If you have any emails related to that, if you have any incident tickets related to that, you can show that as an evidence. Acceptable use policy. See, when you join an organization, you also sign acceptable use policy. What does that mean? That means that I am agreeing to your company policy. So that also becomes an artifact. Acknowledge IT usage rules, sign or digitally accepted. So how you're going to use your IT assets, that also you have to be signed. That should be signed and digitally accepted, or maybe signed acknowledgement forms. These all will become your evidences. Annual awareness training material, attendance records, induction training records, LMS completion reports, learning management system. from your learning management system, it will show you, they will show you, okay, these many people have got trained on our information security management system. So that also becomes an evidence. If violation occurred, incident report, investigation record, policy communication, acceptable use policy acceptance, NDA signing, security, email from CEO about security importance, security campaign, and communication. So these all will become your evidences. When the management does all these things, that means that they are getting involved in your information security management system. This is the responsibility of management. I hope it is very clear now. All for this video. In my next video, we will be studying Annexure 5.5, which is contacts with authorities. Until then, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Bye bye.